So Dushyant, one of your questions was, I was really put out by the way he eats with his mouth open, no error. Error is in a part that is put off is used instead of put out. Yeah, it's an incorrect phrasal verb error, yes. Since we put off is used going by the meanings explained in the video, but why can't we use put down as it means the same, okay? So put down can also be used as he put me down by scoring less marks. Okay. See this, we'll take a look at these examples itself that you put. So does that mean he disappointed the person by scoring less, and put off means he changed my mood to yucky wala feeling? Correct me if I'm wrong, madam. Okay. All right, let's look at this. So basically, Dushyant, your question is, what is the difference between put down instead of put off? See, when I say put off, I've given a lot of examples with this, right? When I am put off, I can be put off by someone, or I can be put off by something, right? I can be put off by this crazy traffic that I have to experience every day while coming to work, right? Something that really irritates me, something that really annoys me. I can be put off by somebody constantly yelling at me, right? Like there is no, like every time I picture that person, the only thing that comes to my mind is that person is always screaming and yelling. So that attitude, that nature of theirs can put me off. So when I say put off, I'm either disgusted, I am repelled, right? It's a completely negative feeling that I'm experiencing. So you can be put off by someone, you can be put off by something. And in our context, we know that put out is not the right phrasal verb, right? I can put out the lights, like meaning turning off the lights. That's not the meaning the context wants, right? It says, I was really put off by the way he eats with his mouth open. So imagine someone eating with their mouth open. You don't want to, I mean, that's not a pretty sight, right? So obviously you are, it disgusts me, that sight, right? So put off, that's why put off. But your question is, why can't we say put down? What is the meaning of put down? Put down as a phrasal verb has a lot of meanings, right? Let's quickly look at put down as a phrasal verb, right? I'm just going to give you random examples. You tell me what are the meanings of put down in these examples, right? I can say, I put my name down for the activity, okay, whatever activity. Or I can say, I put Jaden down for a couple of hours. Yesterday afternoon. Okay, so obviously you can see that this is a separable phrasal verb in all the example sentences that I've given. But, or I can say, he's always trying to put me down. Yeah? Or you can even say, hey, stop putting yourself down. In all these example sentences, what is the meaning you think of? Stop putting yourself down, right? So in all these example sentences, where do you think, what meaning do you think the context is bringing? Losing hope, last sentence is letting down, reduce, okay. So most of you are coming back and giving me responses of put down, right? So when you look at put down, Dushyant, I put my name down for the list, which simply means that, I have given my name, right? I put my name down for the activity means I am registering myself, yeah? I put Jaden down for a couple of hours yesterday, putting someone to sleep, right? I'm putting my kid down to sleep. That's the meaning that put down brings in the second sentence. He's always trying to put me down, like most of you said. Yeah, discouraging, right? Correct. And stop putting yourself down also means, don't be too hard on yourself, right? Don't criticize your own self. Don't be too hard on yourself. The last two sentences almost like discouraging, making someone feel bad about themselves, or making you yourself, you're putting yourself down, right? The second sentence, Dushyant, you said you had problem with understanding. Let's look at the second. I put Jaden down for a couple of hours yesterday afternoon. Usually in a context like this, where you're saying you can, when you say that, you mean you're putting the baby to sleep or putting the kid to sleep, right? That's another meaning. So we understand that, hey, one phrasal verb can have different meanings in different contexts, right? Which means I need to be familiar with all the meanings. So in the context, I can't use, what do I say? Put down, no? Incorrect. So even in the example sentence that you have provided, Dushyant, he put me down by scoring less marks, it doesn't make sense, right? He has scored less marks. How is that discouraging me? You understand what I'm saying? It's just an incorrect example for the phrasal verb put down. You could modify that sentence saying he put me down because I scored less marks. That makes sense. Because I scored less marks, he put me down in front of my friends. Right? That you'll have to change the example sentence that you've given. Then it brings out effective meaning. So now you know that in the given context, I cannot use put down, but I have to use put off, because put off means something that appalls, disgusts, something that I'm irritated, annoyed about. But put down, we saw the meaning, right, in all these example sentences. Yeah? But it's not the same, right? It's not the same. You're looking at somebody eating with their mouth open, right? Disappointed is a very strong feeling. That picture, that image is not something that you want to see, right? It disgusts you. That's a different meaning altogether. In terms of bringing effective meaning, we need to choose the most appropriate phrasal verb which will bring out that meaning. Yeah. So we're going to move forward now that you understand what put down means and why put off is the right phrasal verb in our context. On the basis of this data, it is worthwhile to taking this risk. As you read the context, right, even if you don't know the reasoning behind it, you sense that this part sounds awkward, right? And for the most part, I'm looking at your chat comments and most of you have come back and said option D. So can somebody tell me what is wrong? What do you need to change? Why do you think part D is the answer? Infinitive form, to plus verb form. So option D is where the error is, right? You can't say to plus ing form. Okay. Now most of you came back and said let's put the to plus infinitive form, right? To take, which is correct, no doubt. But the phrase that we're going to look at is it is worthwhile. In terms of a sentence construction, right? You always have it is worthwhile. Either you say it is worthwhile to do something or it is worthwhile doing something, right? Both are correct. So which means I can either say it is worthwhile to take the risk, or I can also say it is worthwhile taking the risk, right? So if I have to rephrase this sentence, taking, like verb plus ing, noun form, taking the risk is worthwhile. If I have to rephrase the sentence, just to make sure taking is acting like a gerund, this is also absolutely possible. So I know for a fact that yes, my error is in part D, but couple of other example sentences, right? So I could say, I had nothing worthwhile to say. I had nothing worthwhile to say, to plus verb. I can also say it was not worthwhile trying to impress that guy, or it was not worthwhile trying to impress that girl. It was not worthwhile trying to impress that guy. So again, after worthwhile, I have the ing form, which is the gerund form, basically, right? So trying to impress that guy or that girl was not worthwhile. Just to put it in a context of how trying, and in our context taking, is acting like a gerund. So it is worthwhile, when I have worthwhile is my clue word, that's the most common construction. I can either say to plus verb or gerund form. Both are correct. So you got the answer right. Part D is where the error is. But the additional added information that you need to know is the clue phrase, it is worthwhile, and what is the construction that follows that phrase. Yeah.